While rail travel may feel like it's waning and too expensive today, back when the world's first intercity railway opened, the Liverpool and Manchester Railway, the operators were shocked by the demand by passengers for travel. Almost 5 times as many people wanted to travel per day than expected. And what was the best way to travel? First class, of course. And here we have today's miniature example of that first class experience in the new Hornby Liverpool and Manchester Railway 4-wheel first class coach. It was travel on these coaches in both swift and exhilarating journeys, by their standards, that really kicked off the period of railway mania in the Victorian age. So how well does Hornby capture the finesse of these early passenger coaches? Let's open up the box and see. While these coaches have been released before, until now they have only been available in train or coach packs, costing upwards of £100. I've got one of these in my Rocket pack, and being able to buy them individually means I can add another one to that train, as Rocket, with the one first class coach that was included in that pack, didn't quite look right. I picked this one up for £35.99 from Rails of Sheffield on pre-order, getting a small discount off the £39.99 RRP. That is quite a lot of money though for such a small coach. One thing to note, as with a lot of Hornby's Era 1 range, is that this is based off the replica Liverpool and Manchester Railway coaches in the National Collection, as none of the originals survive. As such, this is a fairly accurate representation of what the originals were like, but it's not a one-for-one in miniature. I'm not going to nitpick how accurate it is or should be, but we will examine the quality and sturdiness of the model as its own being. For such a small wagon, the detailing and coloration on this is sublime. The yellow and black paint is crisp and clean, and the details picked out contrast nicely with the main colours of the livery. The curved lining is neat with even sweeps, and the lettering is clear and legible even from several feet away. There are a lot of separately fitted details, including an array of steps around the frame, all of which are nice and straight. The end steps and handrails over the roof are all fitted squarely and in place, though being made of plastic they feel rather fragile. Speaking of plastic fragility, the buffers are also made of plastic. Being solid and unsprung, the thin plastic shank feels primed for an accidental snapping, so metal buffers that are part of the rodding running through the chassis would have been a more robust design choice. There is some interior detail to the wagon. You can just about see some stylised benches running between the doors, which adds a little bit of nice detail, even though the floor and everything doesn't appear to be picked out. So it only gives half the illusion of the splendour that you would find in one of these early carriages. All in all, the wagon certainly looks the part, even though it feels quite light and it feels like some more sensible design choices were cut in favour of cheaper materials. My one big continual gripe with this is the Era 1 coupling system. While the plastic chains that hang over the hooks look prototypical, and much better than the tension couplings that you see on other models, this method again feels chosen at the expense of ease of use and robustness. Tension lock couplings work, that's why they've been around for decades. If these plastic hooks snap, even if it's glued back in place, there will be significant weaknesses on the couplings. Given Hornby have produced these separately from train packs now, I have no idea why they didn't take the time to go back and add at least a NEM pocket, as loads of people have been asking for, at least then giving us modelers the choice to run these with these small hook couplers or with fitted tension lock couplers.
When put side by side with the old Triang equivalent, the quality of this detailing on this new tooled coach becomes even more obvious. Besides the size difference, the upgrade to separately fitted parts is the biggest plus, with the old Triang coach having moulded handrails and steps. The livery on the new coach also includes some additional lining and detail, as well as more finesse in its application. Still, not everything in the new model is an improvement. The old Triang coach, though looking tired and missing most of them, does have sturdy, robust buffers that, though they can fall out easily, they can be slotted back into their housings. There's no fear of these breaking or snapping off and being unable to be reattached. It also has the standard tension lock coupling, so it can be used with other coaches and locomotives. You could run this behind a Class 66 if you so desired. So despite being decades old, this old Liverpool and Manchester coach can actually be used with a wider variety of locomotives than this brand new one. A quick measure of the wheel gauging shows that the axles come in at 14.1 and 14.2mm, which is nice and consistent.
It's all well and good looking first class, but how well does the wagon perform down on the track? Being mostly plastic and lightweight, the wagon is fairly free-rolling on level track.
Right, let's see how Sovereign runs in a train. I've positioned it behind Rocket and in front of the first class coach that came in my Royal Mail pack, to see how it performs coupled to a locomotive and also to another coach. I did all of the fiddly chain couplings off camera and was reminded by just how much of a faff these hook and chains are. Why oh why did Hornby not just bung NEM pockets on these? I don't know. I'm just praying the chains don't bounce off the hooks when these pass over the baseboard joins. That'll be a key test. It makes it over! It's managed all of the joins with no trouble. That just leaves the points test. These are Pico Streamline Code 100 short turnouts, but the carriage goes over them unfazed. Excellent, no issues with running. So before I go into my final thoughts on the model, I'm just going to break down how I'm scoring these models based off of different categories and criteria. The chief thing that's important to me is whether or not I am happy with the model that I have right in front of me, given its quality, how it looks, how it performs, and what I paid for it. I've broken this down into 5 different categories. Each category is being scored in a pass or fail fashion. If I'm happy with the model's performance in a certain category, it's a pass and I'm happy. If I'm not happy with it, then it's a fail. This includes decoration, which covers the livery, coloration and lining of the model. So if something's got a complex livery that's done well, if it's got very crisp colour and no paint bleed, this will give it a great satisfaction score and I'll give it a thumbs up. Next is details and features, which is everything that the model comes with in terms of separately fitted parts, accessories, lighting features, any nice details that are included that are from the prototype, and if I'm happy with all the details and features that are included on the model, this will get a point from me. Quality, this will come down to the materials used to make the model, how they've been applied and fitted, whether there's anything that's wrong or broken or out of alignment on the model, and just the general build. So if it's all built well out of great robust materials, this will score well and I'll be happy with it. In terms of wagons in particular, next up is performance. So this will be whether the wagon is free rolling, how good the couplings are in the coupling system, how well it performs going over different features of the layout such as points and baseboard joins, and if it performs really well on here with no issues, then yeah, all's good. And finally, price. This is the contentious one. Given all of the other points, am I happy overall with what I paid and what I received for my money? So very simple in principle, but quite complex to actually dig down into the details of. If I'm happy with how the model performs in each of these different categories, I'll highlight the category purple, and we know it's got the point and has passed. If I'm not happy with how a model's delivered any of these, perhaps the decoration is not very good or poorly applied, perhaps there's things that are broken off or missing or have been made of plastic when they should have really been made of something better, then the model will start to lose points in each of these categories, and I'll flash these up as orange on the screen. Overall, I'll give the model an overall score out of 5, so if it scores well on all criteria, I'll rank it as an essential item that I can recommend highly to you. 4 out of 5, it meets all of them pretty well, but maybe falters on 1 or so categories. I'll give this a high recommendation. If it's a bit more remedial, about 3 out of 5, I can recommend the model, but with a few caveats for you to take away and consider before purchasing. 2 out of 5, plenty of things wrong with the model, but it may still have a few high points that are worthy if you can find it at a bargain price. And 1 out of 5, if it misses nearly all of the marks but maybe hits 1, then it's a model that's perfectly fine if you get it for next to nothing. And if it doesn't score any points, avoid it like the plague.
So what are my final verdicts on the wagon? For livery decoration, the look of this wagon is top notch and next to faultless. Hornby certainly capture the splendour of those early days of passenger travel on the outside of the wagon, if not quite on the inside. This gets a thumbs up from me. For details and features, the coach is well detailed, with all the steps and handrails picked out with separate parts. While some of these could have benefited from being wire or die cast and not being plastic, overall I have no qualms with how they add to the model in its current form. Another positive tick in this model's favour. The quality of the model is great, though not perfect. The build quality could have had some more robust material choices, but overall it's a fine little model that captures the essence of the coach it's portraying.
Performance. This is one of two halves. The coupling system needs a massive overhaul, as it's easily the most disappointing element of the Era 1 range. If this was based on the coupling ability alone, no point would be given. Hornby needs to go back to the drawing board with this. However, going across board joins, staying coupled to the locomotive and other carriages, passing over points, the model ran faultlessly, so I really can't fault its performance on that one. So while I'm not happy with the couplings on this, overall it was great performance all round.
Now on to price. For such a small coach it is rather expensive, and would have been more justified at £36 if it did have more wire and metal pieces to it. However, considering how well the Era 1 train packs sold when they first came out in 2020, and the singly available third class coaches that came out alongside them, you'd really want to be buying this at this price to avoid waiting or paying inflated second-hand prices due to high demand. The third class coach I bought on its own, I had to wait months for those to come back in stock because I missed the initial run. Similar with the Hornby Rocket train packs that were released in 2020, I had to wait ages for any of those to become available before I could purchase them, and second-hand prices were going through the roof. On the whole, with the retailer discount, the price here is fine for what you get. Ideally, I'd have liked to pay no more than £30 for this model in its current form, as without those more robust materials, metals and better couplings, I don't see quite how it's worth as much as its RRP suggests. With that in mind, I'm not going to give it a price point today. Unfortunately, if you want to get one of these, this is what you're going to have to pay, but given what it's made of, I suspect Hornby could be selling these for less than what they're charging for them. If Era 1 style trains and Victorian railway history is your thing, I recommend picking this up to build your rolling stock collection before they sell out. If you can pick one up for a discounted price, even better. So what do you think of Hornby's new release Era 1 coach? Is it reasonably priced in your eyes? And should they really be marketing it as Era 1 seeing as it's a model of a replica coach? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.